On this special edition of Litter Media Live, we're tackling domestic violence today. I'm Dan Ramey, and with me today is Janet Netter. Good to see you.
Well, it's good to see you too.
Thank you for coming in today. In a moment, we'll tell you what our organization is and what they're doing. Details right after this from Tomlinson Insurance Agency.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When insuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
There's a relatively new organization called Blossom House Bureau of Domestic Violence. And
Correct.
Janet is the executive director. Speaking with Janet Netter, you've got a special event coming up later this month, right?
Yes. Actually, we're having a candlelight vigil October the 5th at 6 o'clock at the Lion Shelter in the Ross County Yaktangi Park. Mm-hmm. So it starts at 6 as a social hour, and then the vigil starts actually at 6:30, inviting everybody out.
Okay. Well, we'll talk more in depth about that in just a moment, but you have experience as a worker in this field, but you've been impacted by domestic violence back early in your life.
Absolutely. The most important thing that I can identify with is the effects that domestic violence still has on my life. I'm 61 years old, and as a child, I've lived through domestic violence. And even as the age that I am now, I still have nightmares. They're few and far between, but I still have them because of the domestic violence that I have experienced in my life.
Yeah. And I know we talked earlier off the camera about how sometimes that might be that little memory that comes up to keep you, I guess, focused on what you need to do to help other people.
Absolutely. I believe that unless you have been affected by it yourself, that you know what they are actually feeling, because that's where the empathy comes in and the support comes in, and you could actually stand with them because you know exactly what they're going through.
Yeah. You were a part of the organization previously handling domestic violence here in Ross County, but now you've started your own, and you're the top dog, so to speak.
Yes, but I believe that it takes all of us to combat domestic violence. I also believe that domestic violence is the most unreported crime in the world because the women are embarrassed by it. They have a tendency to blame themselves. They just don't want nobody to know really what's going on behind closed doors.
And there's probably many factors behind where domestic violence comes from. It could be someone who's grown up with it and it's the only way they know how to treat a relationship. Or it could be simple bullying in elementary school that leads to something that's far more dangerous.
Absolutely. Through my experiences, hurting people hurt people. And whether it's a child whose parents are in a domestic violence situation, the only way he can get his anger out is to bully someone else. But the physical end of domestic violence, that's at the end, but that's not where it starts. Domestic violence starts with the intimidation factor. I don't like the clothes that you are wearing. Go in the house and change. I want to see your phone. And they go through your phone. Or if they're walking hand in hand and they squeeze, their partner's hand. Nobody really notices those, because girls just think, oh my God, he's that into me. He wants to know my every move. That's a red flag. And you've got to be conscientious of those red flags.
Yeah. It's important to get out of those relationships before they get too deep.
Absolutely. Yeah. And our organization is here to help. We offer safety plans, ways to escape, just sit down and talk, a listening ear. We offer all that.
Yeah. And while men are most likely to be the intimidator, It can go the other way too, can it?
Absolutely. If the woman is a taller in stature than the man is, and she knows that she's stronger than he is, or as she would say, he's a feminine man. But absolutely, it can go both ways.
Yeah. And in today's day and age, it can be that way even in same-sex relationships.
Absolutely. Domestic violence, it transcends every social, economical, whether it doesn't matter what your race is, what your color is, what your sexual orientation is. It doesn't matter. It transcends all of that. And it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, what kind of job you have. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. As a parent, how do you look for these signs without messing up the privacy of your child?
The signs that you would really want to look for is if you have a real close relationship with your child, all of a sudden it's distant. It just seems something off. Don't disregard that. Pay attention to it. Or you notice that she used to be vibrant, has a lot of friends, and now she's just all by herself. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to the fact that she's always with him. She's not allowed to hang out with her friends, and it's crazy, but she's don't hang out with her friends. She doesn't go to parties. She doesn't do the things that she normally likes to do. She doesn't do that anymore. Pay attention to that because something's going on. You just got to get to know your child and know that if every day at 5 o'clock when she gets home from school, there's a phone call, and then she's on the phone from then, and she's always on her phone. Pay attention to that because there could be more than just her being on her phone.
Mm-hmm. And these things become physical, and if there's a bruise of some sort or far worse, whichever the case may be, you've almost gone too far in that, haven't you?
Correct. And also, the abusers know don't hit them in the face because that's where the bruises are going to show up. So they know that. Don't hit them in the face. Hit them in their shoulders. Hit them in their ribs. Hit them in their chest. Hit them around their waist because normally that's how we put our pants on. Yeah. Our shirt covers all that. Pay attention to all of that. If she used to wear a little bit of makeup and now she's wearing no makeup at all. If she used to do her hair and now her hair's just pulled back. It's the little things that you need to pay attention to.
Mm-hmm. Speaking to someone who's in a situation like this, how do they get out?
It's very, very difficult to get out of the domestic violence situation. It is possible. The first thing that you need to do is you need to plan it. Because once you start gaining your strength back, he's going to recognize, wait a minute, there's something going on with her. She's talking back to me now. She's getting her strength. She seems like she's not intimidated by me anymore. But the first thing that you need to do is you need to find a friend or somebody that's close to you that you never, ever, ever talk about. Because the last thing you want to do is put somebody else in danger. Right. If they know that you're going to run home, then he'll threaten your parents or your grandparents. If you leave me, I'll hurt them. So you really want to pay attention. You want to be smart about whoever you pick. Then, if you can, because normally the abuser, he handles the finances. He'll if you need $50 to go to the grocery store, he's like, here's $50. I want to see the receipt. I want, the change back and everything else, and it better be right. So find a friend that you can trust. And then you want to slowly but surely get all your legal documents that you would need: birth certificates, Social Security cards, if you're on any kind of medicine, prescriptions, all that. And then we actually make a case plan for you to help you escape. But it normally takes anywhere from 1 to 8 times for a victim to be able to break away from their abuser, because he has diminished their self-esteem so bad that they think that they have to stay there with him.
Yeah. And if you stay in a city like Chillicothe, which is a big little city,
right?
He's still around.
Yes, and not only him, his friends are around. Yeah. His family is around. Maybe he has older kids, and his older kids are around. So you're not only looking out for him, you're looking out for anybody that is associated with him.
Yeah, it's a shame you almost have to go into a witness protection program, yes, or something like that. I know you work primarily with the victims. How does an abuser get help?
That's a good question. Sometimes if it's court ordered, like he can go to anger management classes, but unfortunately, sometimes the abusers don't think that they're the ones that have the problem. Right. They're so used to thinking that if she wouldn't do what she does, then I wouldn't do what I do.
Awkward thinking, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But that you let the courts handle that. You let law enforcement handle that.
Correct.
But in my vein of thinking, it takes a change of heart. So,
absolutely. So
hopefully they find help through the spiritual side of things too.
Absolutely. And what we also offer, or at least what I also offer, is that if they would like for me to have prayer with them, I do pray for them. Because I'm like, I can do all things through Christ, and He's the only way. Mm-hmm. So.
And you've lived that.
Absolutely.
you know the experience.
Absolutely.
We've got the contact information for your organization scrolling on the screen here for those who are watching on Facebook and also on YouTube. But for those who those listening on Litter Media Radio, how do we get a hold of you?
You can actually go to our webpage, which is Blossom House Bureau of Domestic Violence. You can visit our Facebook page, which is Blossom House Bureau of Domestic Violence. You can send us an email through blossomhousedv@blossombureau.org, or you can give us a phone call at 740-702-4800, or our office is at 14 South Paint Street, Suite 65. You can just drop in and see us.
Now, as we talk, you're about a year and a half into this organization.
Yes, sir.
Where did you come up with Blossom? Where did the Blossom House come from?
With the name, in order for a woman or a man, child, doesn't matter, in order for them to rebuild who they are, they first have to deal with the trauma that has affected them. And then they blossom into the person that they need to be. So that's where Blossom House came from.
I like that idea. Sounds good. The Candlelight Vigil, it's coming up Saturday evening.
Yes.
In Yaktangi Park.
Correct.
Who is this honoring?
Our Candlelight Vigil is actually honoring those that have passed away through domestic violence. We're honoring them. We're honoring their families. We're honoring the community, because it's really, really important not to forget who they are. We actually have the names. We have sent letters out to their families to see if they want to talk about their just what their loved ones mean to them, because just because someone's passed away from domestic violence, it doesn't stop there. Normally, the family feels guilty of, I wish I could have done something, and they don't have to carry that. So we like to honor them, to say just because it goes unreported, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist in our community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in our years of working with violence for children, the abuse that they have gone through, and many of us have seen the pinwheels they used to put out there at the entrance to Octangy Park for all those cases that were reported, more than 1,000 at some point. Not only that, but also suicide prevention.
Correct.
Families have that regret. They feel like, man, I didn't see the signs, and it all goes together, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And what I like to reference to is, if you haven't seen the movie The Boys in the Boat, and the gist of the movie is they take 10 individual people and they put them on a row team, and they have to work together.
Right.
And I'm like, if we can get all these organizations to work together, then we would be able to take care of everyone in our community. So yeah, it's just, we just need to work together, because domestic violence can come from anywhere. If a family is struggling financially, and the dad doesn't know what to do, or the mom doesn't know what to do, and they take their anger out. It can start with, another avenue is bullying at school. Another avenue is, I just feel that it all just goes together.
Yeah. As long as sin's in the world, we'll never eradicate it completely. But if we can lower the percentage, we're doing something.
Absolutely. If someone's on drugs, alcoholism, homelessness, it all intertwines with one another.
Right. Again, if you want to get a hold of them, you've got the scrolling information on our screen. If you're listening on Letter Media Radio, you can go to our website and also our YouTube page and more. You'll find out the contact information again for Blossom House Bureau of Domestic Violence.
Yes.
Janet, thank you for your time. Is there anything you want to mention in closing?
Nope. Just God bless everyone.
Yeah. And you'll find their pamphlets all over Chillicothe. So you put them out where even in secret you can find that.
Yes.
And get the help that you need.
Correct. Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming in today.
Thank you so much.
Janet Netter, thank you for watching this special edition of Letter Media Live.